The managers, coaches, and players of the International Sevens and the Oceania Sevens teams of Argentina, France, United States, Australia, Samoa, American Samoa, Tuvalu, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Cook Islands, Westfield Barbers, Wardens, and Fiji. The referees from Australia, New Zealand, Samoa, and Fiji. The director of the International Rugby Board World 7 Series, Beth Coulter. The chairman of the Fiji Rugby Union, Filimone Langabata. The chief executive officer of Fiji Water, Rokuseru Mambalarua. Your Excellencies, the ambassadors and high commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Isa Mulavinaka, Salam Alaikum, Namaste. It is indeed a great honor for Fiji to be hosting the Fiji Water Centennial International Sevens, organized as part of the 100th anniversary celebrations of the Fiji Rugby Union and the Federation of Oceania Rugby Union's Fora Oceania Sevens. I take this opportunity to welcome all this evening, and I extend an especial warm welcome to all the teams and the individuals who have traveled from overseas. Organized rugby proper began in Suva back in 1913, when a New Zealand plumber by the name of Paddy Sheen, a forward, was working on the construction of the Grand Pacific Hotel, which is the building beside the Holiday Inn and directly opposite Albert Park, that is currently undergoing renovation today. Now, at the end of the working day, Sheen organized casual pastime rugby with his workmates and other Fijians. This led to the formation of 5 clubs: the Pacific, Cadets, United Services, Imperials, and Rail. Fiji played its first international match against Samoa, then called Western Samoa, in 1924 at Apia Park in Samoa, while on its way for a rugby tour of the Kingdom of Tonga. Now, incredibly, this match kicked off at 7 o'clock in the morning, because some of the players representing Samoa, which included some New Zealanders, had to go to work afterwards. And the Fiji team had to catch the boat that was leaving for Tonga several hours later. Fiji won 6-0. Now, Fiji wore an all-black strip and was nicknamed the All Blacks of the South Seas. Another thing that stood out about that encounter was a large tree that was growing in the center of the field, on the halfway line. And of course, both teams played without boots, for the simple reason that no one had any, as rugby was then played in bare feet. The Fiji team proceeded to Nuku'alofa, Tonga, where they played 3 test matches, losing the first 6-9, winning the second 14-13, and drawing the third 0-0. Now, it is thus particularly pleasing that the Manu Samoa Sevens team is here this week to celebrate with us this monumental occasion, which is the second part of the centennial year of Fiji rugby. In that connection, I must also state that it is indeed pleasing to have all of the other teams, international teams, represented on this occasion. For your information, we have already celebrated the first part of our centennial year with the match against the classic All Blacks on Wednesday, 12th June. And we want to fully acknowledge the instrumental part and influence that 2 great All Blacks, Andy Hayden and Justin Marshall, exerted that enabled the match to take place. And we thank them most sincerely. So much has happened in the 100 years of Fiji rugby. Many tours have taken place to many rugby-playing countries, and many of those countries have toured Fiji. There have been many high points. Perhaps some of the highlights of those 100 years have been the undefeated Fiji team tour of New Zealand in 1939, the Fiji Sevens team twice winning the IRB Rugby World Cup Sevens, and the Fiji team twice reaching the quarterfinals of the 15-a-side Rugby World Cup. As a small developing country, Fiji has notched test match victories over some of the great rugby nations, such as Argentina, Australia, Scotland, Wales, and the equally formidable teams of the New Zealand Maoris and the British and Irish Lions. We have come very close with the other teams. All I say is, give us time and we will do the business. Fiji, as you know, has continuously punched well above its weight in rugby, which is why it is the national sport loved by all communities, races, ages, and gender. Rugby brings this nation together like nothing else. And this weekend, Fiji and the Fiji Rugby Union are greatly honored to host the Fiji Water Centennial International Sevens. Simultaneously, we are also equally honored to host the Federation of Oceania Rugby Union's Foru Oceania Sevens section of this tournament, which will witness 8 teams from the region battling it out, with the special significance that 2 non-core teams will qualify for the 2014 Hong Kong Sevens, and some will also qualify for the Commonwealth Games next year in Glasgow. We are all very grateful to the IRM brand of Fiji Water for making this tournament possible through their generous sponsorship. And we hope, of course, that 2013 is just the beginning of things to come in terms of new sponsorship and more international sevens rugby action. The Fiji Rugby Union is currently under new leadership in Mr. Philemone Wangabala, and I thank him and his hard-working team for their efforts in organizing the Fiji Water Centennial International Sevens and the Oceania Sevens. I hope the visiting teams and the other overseas visitors will all enjoy your brief stay and visit to Fiji, and I trust that you might return again to Fiji soon, either for rugby, work, or pleasure. Whatever the capacity, you will always be warmly welcome. So while we look back over the past 100 years and think of all the magical moments in Fiji's rich rugby history, we must look forward to the next 100 years and ensure that they are even better for Fiji rugby. On behalf of the people of Fiji, I thank all the teams, but especially the overseas teams that accepted our humble invitation to be part of this International Sevens tournament and to commemorate the centennial year of Fiji rugby and the Oceania Sevens. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all aware that Fiji has a new digital sevens coach in Ben Ryan. So, on behalf of all Fijians and the Fiji Rugby Union, I warmly welcome him and his good wife, Natalie, to Fiji, at the beginning of what we believe will be a long, rewarding partnership. We are on the make, and do not say that I did not warn you. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that warning note, please enjoy the rest of the evening, and good luck to all the teams over the next 2 days. Thank you. Vinakavakalevu, Shukriya, Bahu, Dynamite.
I've been on these beautiful islands for 48 hours, and a few things have revisited themselves again and again. The first one was, is my hair the natural colour? Unfortunately it is. And two other things have constantly been ringing in my thinking. One is I feel very humbled that I've been given the opportunity to work with such a talented group of players in an island that is rugby mad, doesn't really do itself justice. Crazy for the game, passionate for the game, and I'm incredibly excited about the challenges and the opportunities that the Fiji Rugby Board and the Fiji Rugby Union have given me. I've also got to say and admit that I've been fairly overwhelmed by the support of the people of Fiji, and everywhere I've turned in the last 48 hours, I've been met by huge smiles, and quickly followed by suggestions on how I can improve. I've made lots of notes. But I'd just like to say thank you very much, and also on behalf of all the international teams, the opportunity to have such a big tournament and to bring international teams into the country. I for one am very excited about being able to sit in the stand tomorrow and watch such great players playing in a packed national stadium in Suva, and I hope it's one of many tournaments that will grace these shores in years to come. Bula.
Mr. President, I really enjoyed your rundown on the history of Fiji rugby. Thanks very much for the invitation to come over here. It's always great to come back to Fiji, particularly Suva. I had a childhood friend who lived here in Lami Town. I used to visit regularly when I was at school, and it's always good to come back here for the warm welcome that everyone receives, particularly Ben. Congratulations, Ben, on that appointment too. It comes with a lot of expectation, and you're carrying the hopes of the country on your shoulders, and I wish you all the best. This is very much impromptu, so I'd just like to say thank you very much for the invitation. It's great to be back in Suva, in Fiji, the home of rugby sevens, and I told my boys, Alex, a lot of boys haven't been here before. Most of them haven't been to Suva, haven't been to Fiji. There's an experience they won't forget, and a little bit about the nice handshakes and the warm welcomes. When it comes to playing rugby sevens, there's no more ferocious environment than over here. So it's great to be here, and we're looking forward to this weekend with a young side who I think will be very competitive. And thank you.
Hello everyone, thanks for the invitation to this tournament. For me, it's the first time here in Fiji, and it's a dream that I want to do it, visit this country, because I'm very fanatic of this sport, sevens obviously, and you too. So we are very happy to be here, and we are looking, like Ben said, in the street, you can see all the people very happy because we are here, and they are very warm to receive us. So I hope they feel the same in the weekend during the tournament. So thank you very much for the invitation, and good luck. Bye.